Hi, my dear ones. Full moon and Capricorn blessings. This is a wild, intense one. Maybe not so wild as it is just really intense and really cathartic and deep and chthonic. It's all those things. It's very intense moon. So if you've been feeling an intensity over the last few days, you have been feeling these energies and you're right in sync with everything. So I'm getting this video out to you early this morning, so I still have wet hair, but it feels really important to communicate with you. And thank you so much for tuning into this. Thank you so much for watching these videos, for liking these videos. I appreciate your subscribes and your shares. Everything means so much to me as a YouTube creator and on my Instagram channel as well. Just having that support. I could not do what I do without you all, and it means so much to me. So thank you. And it's wonderful for you too, because it helps you connect in with the moon cycles a little bit more intuitively and organically, because I always release these on the new and full moon. So you are able to just be reminded and sync up with the energies and kind of get a brief overview of how to work intelligently and in an aligned way with what's coming up right now. And this is a big one. So this moon is applying to a conjunction with Pluto, which means the moon is moving in on Pluto. So it's a very intense energy. It's in Capricorn, which is always a very somber moon anyway. It's a feeling of, sometimes depression, sometimes just a really deep perusal within ourselves. And on top of that, we have just finished up a few of the planets, Mercury and the Sun, that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. My light just fell over. Hang on a second. We have just had Mercury and the Sun make angles with Chiron. So it's a very intense, like, healing moon as well, like that feeling of things coming up. I think it's kind of funny my light fell over in the middle of this. I always think everything that happens in the middle of a reading is part of the reading, and so it's kind of like, yeah, it is almost this underworld journey and this needing to face our shadow and our darkness and things coming up. So I am not of the school of the whole love and light thing. I think any of you who follow me would know that. I really feel like that the darkness has a beauty to it, and it has a beautiful magic, and it's where our power hides. And when we are brave to face those things, when we go into those things to heal them, when we stay with ourselves through the hard, dark feelings and not try to push it away or whitewash it or try to just get rid of it as fast as we can, when we really stay with those harder, more difficult feelings that are coming up in us, we actually expand parts of ourselves. That's what I feel. And this moon feels very much like an excavation, shining a light in the really deep corners of our recesses of our psyche and our mind and our heart. So I would offer, if you feel some things coming up, if you're a journaler, sit there and journal about it. If you're not a journaler, totally fine. Take a walk and process. Be somewhere in nature, maybe even near a lake, where you can really just allow those feelings to come up and be present with them. And maybe find a playlist or some music that supports this process. That can also be really good. You will move through it. In the next few days, we will leave this Capricorn moon and we'll go into Aquarius, and it will shift in a dynamic way. We have a lot of astrology coming up that's very dynamic for this fall. But I think this is kind of this midpoint in the year that's really important, and it's important to stay with yourself through whatever is coming up, and you will find answers through that. When you can stay with yourself through that, you will find answers and you will find insights, and you will also find your intuition expanded. I always find that so curious. It's just like your sensitivities grow because you don't push away what's coming up inside of you. So that's what I would offer on this full moon. And it's interesting because Venus is trining Saturn, is in conjunct Pluto. There's just so much energy, like on the 25, 24, 27 degrees of the chart. And so if you have any planets at those degrees, you're going to be feeling that intensity. And then the moon itself is at 21 degrees of Capricorn for this full moon. And the sun, of course, is at 21 degrees Cancer, so right across the skies. So there is an energy that's somber, there's an energy of releasing, and there's also an energy of leaving. So you may find some stories ending in your life over the next week. And I feel like that'll actually be really helpful, these stories that come to a close, and you can finally close the chapter and say, okay, I'm moving on, I'm ready to move on, and letting go of those things. And endings aren't always easy, but sometimes they're a relief. They're a feeling of, okay, that was dogging me for so long, or that was just so part of my experience, and now I can let it go. So let the endings happen. If they come up, don't try to save it or reach, and kind of grab at it. Let whatever wants to go from your life leave, and with grace and dignity say goodbye and allow that thing to leave your life, or that person, or that relationship, or that job, or, you know, whatever is coming up that needs to go. So on that very somber note, I decided it would be really fun to use a more like goofy, fun, like whimsical deck today, just to kind of lighten the energy. So I'm going to use the fantastic Menagerie Tarot by Baba Studios. It's a lovely, fun, you know, cartoony kind of deck that just, I think, will speak beautifully today and just kind of help the energies not feel quite so intense like what I just described. So if you are wanting to go deeper with this full moon, or you're wanting a tarot reading, I'm going to link my shop below. I actually only have one full moon reading left, but whoever that would call to, I would love to read for you, and just explore these energies more deeply in your own personal experience. These card readings are lovely for the collective, but, you know, if you really want to delve into your own story and ask your own questions, this reading could be really perfect for that, if that is speaking to you. So I'll link that below. I will also link this deck below, so you can look at it. I don't know if it's out of print at this point, but it's just a beautiful deck. It's got the cold pressed foiling, and it just makes my Venus in Cancer so happy. So, all right, if you followed this channel for a while, you know how this works. You can pick cards 1, 2, or 3. You can pick now, you can pick after. You can pick all the cards. You can pick 2 of the cards. Really, truly trust your intuition of what's coming up. I always think it's a lovely exercise every 2 weeks to just trust yourself that you'll get the message you need. And if you're watching this when it's not the full moon in Capricorn, you will absolutely be getting the message you need as well. There's no time or distance in intuition. So, all right, the first one we have coming up is the 4 of Coins. This cute little card. We've got these little, looks like rats, and they're just living their lives. And it's just so cute. So if you drew this card, there's a feeling of needing to create boundaries for yourself with this full moon coming up. Maybe you need some time away. Maybe you need to just create some space for yourself. Maybe you need to go to bed early tonight. But there's a real feeling of carve out the space you need. And if there's something you need to say no to that you've been really feeling as just an obligation or a responsibility, listen to yourself when you're saying the word should. That word can fill up our language so often. And when you find yourself saying the word should, ask yourself, should I do this? Because if I'm saying I should do this, or I feel obligated to do this, there might be something where you can try to back out of that you really are not aligned with that experience. And then when you feel that pressure that I should do this, that's actually a message that you need to draw a boundary there. And it's okay to release that thing and not do that thing, or maybe not be as present emotionally and physically. Maybe back out a little bit early or something like that. Allow yourself the space. But this card comes up around setting boundaries for yourself. So that's a very powerful message on this full moon, that it's okay to take what you need, to get what you need, to carve out what you need for your own soul and evolution. All right, for card 2, we have the 10 of Cups. This beautiful, beautiful card. I always love the rainbow energy in this card, and the feeling of noticing the happy moments that are coming up for you. This has been a heavy time, and I think a lot of us are feeling the intensity. I think we're feeling fatigue that maybe is more than just body tired. It's like soul tired. So this card comes up around saying, what little things are joyful in your environment? What little things can you be grateful for? Can you be grateful that you can take a great big breath and breathe the fresh air around you? Can you be grateful that the sun is warming your days? Can you be grateful for a person who is with your experience, who is within your experience, that you connect to deeply, whether that's your child or your partner or a dear friend? Being grateful for those little things, and maybe making a gratitude list today. I don't always say stuff like that, but I feel like that would be very useful for someone who drew this card, is to sit down and write down 10 things, because it's 10 of Cups, right? 10 things that you are so grateful for and you realize are part of your life, and that it will help balance that really difficult energy that maybe you're moving through. And it's not to defray or to deflect or to mitigate or make less of what you're going through, but it's just to balance that heavy energy and to say, hey, this is hard, you know, but there's also really beautiful things within your life too. All right, the third card just flew out. We've got another 10. It's interesting with the 2 10s coming up. There's a feeling of definitely those endings and beginnings again. So for those of you watching this, that will be present within your life over the next week. There will be some endings and new beginnings as well. You know, they come together as a tandem pair. Just a beautiful energy. And this card, my dear ones, those of you who chose this card, you can see this horse in the background who's dressed, right? And there's just a feeling of hauling so much and feeling so heavy and feeling so laborious and needing to work so hard to do what you're doing. And if you chose this card, I just want to look full on at the camera at you and say, my dear one, I see you. This experience when you draw the Ten of Wands is often about not being seen, and that you're going through a really tough time and things feel like they're too much. They feel overwhelming. You feel like you're burnt out. You feel like you don't have anything left to give. And yet in the middle of all that, you feel like no one notices. No one even knows what you're going through. That maybe you're putting on a bright face and you're going about your day and you're doing all the things and you're doing well and no one even really sees it. So I want you to know, I see you. The universe sees you. You are doing well. And this card comes with a promise that you're almost there. You're almost to a breakthrough. Do what you can to do as little, like, let go of something if you can. If there's something that, you don't have to do, or you could even just put off till tomorrow. Sometimes when we have so much going on, maybe you can't not do all the things, but maybe you can let one thing just slide till tomorrow or till next week and just allow that little bit of spaciousness for yourself. But realize that you are going through a tough time and you are going through hard things and you are seen in that. And there will be powerful gifts that come forward for you, a powerful new beginning and an expansion of an understanding of yourself that will be maybe not worth this pain. I hate to say it like that, but you will realize why you went through this difficult time and you will see the blessing of it. So, all right, my loves, it is so wonderful to read for all of you. It is such a blessing to connect with you in this way. Give this channel a follow. Give my Instagram a follow. I do a reading every day over there, which is really fun, and it allows you to be really in touch with the energies and connected. So I am sending you all so many full moon blessings, so much love, big hugs from my heart to yours, and I will talk to you very, very soon.